Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot, and this is continuing the 31 days of tarot up to day 29. So thanks for sticking with me this long, and if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you're enjoying this. It really is working beautifully with the Taste of Tarot mini teachings that I'm doing. I do teach a regular class online. I will have classes coming up in February, live action classes, and I'll be working on a digital format too. So if you want to study on your own, I will be creating probably this spring and into summer a digital format class so that you can get the videos. But this is about tarot myths. So tarot myth number one. Years ago, when I got my first deck, someone told me, "Oh, you can't buy your own deck and you have to be given a deck." So I did do some research into why that myth came about. So the reason why that myth came about was because if you bought a deck, then you could be seen buying a deck, and perhaps you were a witch. So the idea of having someone give you a deck was to conceal the fact that you were, an intuitive or a sensitive or a psychic, or however you want to describe yourself. Really, in today's day and age, kind of silly. People, don't. People do criticize it still, but much more open. And if you followed my videos, I do believe that we are in a great awakening, and that people are becoming more aware. Let's do a quick spread on that just for some fun. Just some fun. The Great Awakening. How are we doing? We'll do past, present, and future. So I do think that this Great Awakening started back in like the 70s. And so, all right, we're not progressing great, but, things are happening. I do think that the Great Awakening started at the beginning of the last millennia. In the turn of the century into the 1900s, I do believe that we started then. We did see the interest in esoterica become a bit more widespread with the convenience of having mass-produced materials. So, we did see some more because of that, thanks to Madame Blavatsky and some of the other parlor seers that we had in the United States. Madame Blavatsky, of course, was in Russia. It did pick up some speed. In the 60s and 70s, it became a bit more interesting here in the United States, where people started to get involved. But now, in the early aughts and into the 2020s, I think that people are becoming more aware of different ways of thinking, different belief structures. And so we are kind of moving in a different, more open direction. People are really much more willing to think that there are different ways of accessing information. So getting your deck given to you, it's a myth that, I had to debunk it myself. It always felt a little bit weird, like, why can't I buy a tarot deck? Not exposing your tarot deck to sunshine. I personally, I don't read outside, I don't read tarot decks, tarot like on the beach, but it's for a very practical reason. There's wind when you're outside. We do have a sun porch that is covered, and I have done plenty of readings in there. And we have a picnic table with an umbrella, and I've done readings out there. But, for all practical purposes, I don't think exposing your deck to sun or moon is something that's detrimental to them. I think more detrimental is the wind, because, they will blow all over the place and things will get crazy. And, then you find out you're reading with a deck and your sun card's been missing for 6 months, and why is no one ever getting the sun card? So that is one of the myths that I don't really stick with. Not letting other people touch my tarot deck. I never had an issue with that. When I did readings in person as a teenager and in my 20s, I always let my clients handle my deck. Now that we're in the age of 2020 plus, if you all know what I mean, the getting your cooties on my deck may be an issue. At the beginning of the lockdown, I did start reading online, and I can read fine whether I have someone handle the deck or not handle the deck. I can tap into their energy just fine, and it's not necessary, nor is it prohibited. The reason it was prohibited was because they didn't want people to get their vibe all over the deck. One of the things that I do is I will clean out my deck. I will put crystals on them. I will, more often than not, wave them through incense. I burn a lot of incense. As a water sign, I like that fiery energy in the house. I like to, keep some balance here. But I also will clean out the deck by just, flapping the energy out. I'll blow into the deck. So much for germs. But that's, one of the things I do. I feel the act of shuffling, you can get your energy on it, but I don't ever feel that the energy is going to stick there. One of, another myth is that the information that you're getting is channeling from a source. I don't think that the information is channeling through the cards as, an infinite source. I think we all have the ability to access the Akashic records, if you will, or the universal knowledge, or the universal thought stream, however you like to describe this. I do feel like we all can access that, and that the information is coming through that. So the cards will lay where they lay. And it's the way that you interpret them and the way that you get the information from beyond to impart to your client or the person that's reading, that is getting the reading. So, I don't feel like there's one particular spirit guide that is, guiding me. I was always a little bit uncomfortable with that. People will refer to the universal knowledge, the access of universal knowledge, as spirit with a capital S. Like, a lot of people will use that, and that's fine. When I learned younger, a couple of people that I had worked with said, "Oh, you have to have a spirit guide. You have to have a spirit guide." And I'm going to be honest, I never found one, or at least one never found me. I do have, ancestors that will communicate with me. I actually had a pretty intense dream about my grandmother who was passed on last night. So I'm trying to figure out what that was all about, because it definitely was a message dream. There was a message she was giving me. So I do have to kind of sit down and sort that out. But I never felt that there was some spirit guide that was giving me this skill and speaking through me. I never felt like that. That being said, another myth, and this was something that a friend had said to me. Well, you're not psychic. You can't read the cards because you're not psychic. That's a myth that when I was younger, it was a little bit hard to swallow because I couldn't pick lottery numbers, because I couldn't predict, what was going to happen tomorrow. I had some doubt when I was a little bit younger, and I'm like, oh my God, am I a fraud? Am I a charlatan? Am I just like snake oil? The reality is that the messages that we get, like, no psychic is 150%. No one is going to, if we did have people that could predict the future on a consistent and accurate basis, would we have circumstances that we have now? Would we have tragedies that we have now? Of course not. The tapping into the universal knowledge, the river of information that is out there, the cosmic river of information. It is a skill that you need to define and refine. I do believe that all of us have the ability to access the information that is out there. I do think that some people are more apt to do so. Just like some people are really, really great bike riders. If you watch some of the earlier videos, you know that every time I get on a bike, I wind up injuring myself pretty badly. I don't know why. I just can't ride a bike. I can go 10 feet, but something will happen and the wheel will fall off, or I will go flying off the bike. I had several dramatic accidents on bikes when I was younger. So there are some people that are just more suited to reading cards and tapping into that information and being able to tap into the vibe and the emotion of their person that they're reading for. So, it's just a matter of being able to, work with the inherent gifts that you have. If you don't have any sensitivity whatsoever, there are things you can do to pump that skill. It is a really, really good skill to have. One of the things that, everyone notices is, if they're ever in a situation that's a little bit dangerous, the hair on their arms goes up, or the hair on the back of their neck goes up, or their stomach may flip over. That is your intuitive manifesting in your physical body. And some people call it, like the monkey brain, or, it's a what do you call it? Evolutionary leftover from when we were more animal-like. That is your intuition giving you a message through your body. In my opinion, that's something giving you a nudge. So those nudgy moments, you should lean into and try and flex that. So these are some myths that I don't believe in, sort of believe in. I don't know. It's, another one is that you need a tarot cloth. Now, I do have a cloth here, and it's only because I burn the incense. This is my desk, and I don't want the incense all over my desk. I can wash this, once a week, and we're ready to go. And my good friend Shelly gave it to me, and I love it. But I don't think that we need a cloth to read tarot. That's another myth where you have to protect the tarot cards from getting the vibe off another surface. I don't think we need any barriers like that. Oh, I mean, here's another one too. When I was younger, the first tarot bag I had was lined with silk. I did read that, you should have silk lined bag, because that will protect the energy of your tarots and protect it from any negative energy. So, I don't know if I really believe it. I like the bags because they keep them neat, they keep them orderly. You can throw it in your purse and you can go from A to B. I like the idea of having silk lined bags. I haven't been able to find any mass produced ones, so perhaps I will make some. Flex my sewing skills. But the the silk line bags, I don't think it's a necessity. I don't think the bags themselves are a necessity. I just like them. It's a matter of preference for me. Like you saw with my Housewives Tarot, I leave that in the box because it's got that cute little recipe box thing going on there. So, so that being said, those are some of the myths. I guess I'm debunking them, but I don't know. So, if you have any weird tarot myths or lore, please comment down below and we'll have a discussion about it. I do keep a piece of quartz in some of my decks, in some of the bags. Not all of them. I'm not very consistent with that. But that definitely is, the I guess the myths that I do stick with. I shuffle my cards a great deal while I'm working with them just to get the question in there. And I also, float them through the incense smoke to clean them up and get the idea off them. I used to consecrate my decks with essential oils. Dragon's Blood was usually the oil that I used my first deck. I did do that, just like kind of do the edges. And my first deck it has very dirty edges because of that. I believe I did the Crowley Toth deck too. The edges are a little bit dirty, but both those decks are pretty old. They're over 30 years old. So, but that being said, please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you're enjoying this. I sure am. This is a lot of fun. Talk to you all soon.